All right, guys. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about men and mental health. We have two guests, Nick and Billy. This episode is actually going to be in two parts, so this is going to be part 1 of 2. Enjoy. Hello, and welcome to Uncorked, a podcast where we get raw and real all while under the influence. We are your hosts. I am Madison.
And I am Katie. Thank you guys for joining us. Today on episode 8, we're going to be talking about men and mental health. And we just so happen to have a couple guests with us. The first guest we have today is Billy. He's a good friend of mine who I've known about 12 years or so. And the second guest we have is Nick, aka Producer Nick.
Jesus Christ.
Who is also my husband and the father of our children. So if you guys would like, go ahead and say hi.
Hello. Hello.
Tell the people listening a little bit about yourselves. Billy?
Nick. Like she said, my name's Nick. I'm the dude behind all this stuff, kind of, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Husband, father of 2. Got a couple dogs.
Yeah.
You know, I like all things tech. Ask me questions.
Good job, babe. All right,
Yeah.
Billy. How would you describe yourself?
I was just gonna say how we met, but
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
we met up at a campground in Indiana.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yep, and
Good
then
time.
ever since then.
Yep. Alrighty. Before we get started, we're going to uncork the bottle of wine that we have today. So today we have the Prayers of Sinners wine. It is a red wine blend. It is deeply layered with blackberry, dark fruit, violet, and cocoa. I got it at Walmart for like $9. Well, not too bad, guys.
Okay, so today's topic, we're going to talk about men and their mental health. I think that this is an important topic just because I don't think it's talked about very often. Nick, did you want to talk about this topic?
Why do I want to talk about this
Yeah.
topic? Do I? I don't know. Don't ask me.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's very important because a lot of men don't feel very comfortable talking about their mental health.
Exactly.
Exactly, Nick.
I'm going to be honest. I asked probably about 4 guys and only one of them said yes. And then I just kind of made producer Nick do it. So,
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Help me.
But yeah, what kind of wines do you guys usually like to drink if you do drink wine?
Bud Light.
No, sweet, 100% sweet.
Sweet wine.
You didn't fill me out.
Okay, you go for it, Billy. Do you like sweeter wines? Or you kinda like...
It just depends. Like, I know if I've eaten weird things before, like drinking wine,
It doesn't
sweet
always
wines
go.
aren't very whatever. But this is kind of dry, so it's like it cleans the palate. Kind of.
Yeah.
It's like
It starts off sweet and then it like gets like really like dry.
basically anything alcoholic that makes you go like.
Yeah, it ain't that bad though. When it goes like, like, that is horrible.
like,
I don't know
yeah,
why
no.
you would drink that.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
Merlots. I don't think I've ever been able to drink
Yeah.
a Merlot.
No,
Those are bad.
that's not bad.
What is usually your drink of choice?
Beer.
Beer. Just straight up beer.
Just any beer?
Beer and whiskey.
Beer.
Not Busch, not Natty Ice, not stuff like that.
No, you don't want to be around him when he drinks Busch Light.
Yeah, pretty much.
Why is that, Billy? You want to tell us?
I'm a horrible person.
Alrighty. When did you guys first learn about mental health?
When you asked me to be on the show.
Oh, okay. Did you learn about it in health class whatsoever? Or like high school? You didn't either?
I went to public school.
I mean,
You did too.
Yeah, I learned about it.
maybe we weren't paying attention.
I remember seeing a baby get born. That was pretty wild.
Oh my goodness. Alrighty. So growing up, did you and your family talk about mental health whatsoever?
No. I mean, no.
None of your family members had like anxiety or
Well, yeah, you can have all these things but not talk
or
about it.
depression.
Do you ever hear like the women in your family talk about it? Besides, like, and not talk about it with you, but talk about it to each other and stuff?
Oh, I'm sure. There's a girls' group chat that doesn't stop ringing.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably theirs.
Well, no, we have like a friends group, and then Billy has like 50 family members.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, it goes freaking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever felt like you couldn't talk to someone when you were going through a hard situation?
I mean, not whenever I've had like a close friend.
Okay.
Like, it's always been easy to talk to people. Like, if there's something like that major you need to talk about, like, just like, hey, what do you think about this? Or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, certain things you just don't need to talk about.
I agree. Yeah, there's certain things like if I was going to talk about something, so Zach, like if I had something that like I needed to say something like guy to guy, I'd be like, hey, bro.
Yeah. Makes sense.
What's up?
Like, it's blue. What do I do?
Something, whatever it is, whatever the case.
Oh my god. I don't know. Have you guys ever been depressed? Do you think you've ever been depressed?
Dude, did you?
Oh yeah.
Were you here last year?
What?
Were you like around last year?
For you?
No, I mean just in this world, like on Earth.
Oh.
Well, like
every
the
winter I
pandemic.
get depressed.
Oh,
Freaking
for sure.
Get off work and boom, dark. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to bed. Screw it. No, I'm just gonna...
I mean, I don't necessarily consider that like depressed. I just
Like, that's like seasonal depression.
yeah, just like melancholy. You just don't feel like doing anything, so you just go to bed, watch TV or something like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be spring sometime, so I would just look forward to the.
You literally don't like any weather besides 70 and sunny.
Dude, it's gotta be like 73, sunny, blue skies with those
No
big
wind.
fluffy white clouds. That's
Every day he walks out of this house. I hate this weather. I'm like, you hated it 2 months ago when it was warm.
yeah, it wasn't sunny. 73.
Do you ever?
But, sorry, go
No,
ahead.
you can go.
No, go ahead.
Do you ever feel like there's a topic that you can't talk to someone about because you're a guy? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you get depressed or you have, like, an issue, do you ever feel like, I'm a guy, so I have to be strong and I can't talk about it? Or you don't want to talk about it because you don't want someone to know that?
I mean, to 99% of people, but to like one or two guys, you know, not that big of a deal. I mean,
Do you guys think you just, like, push it down and just swallow it?
I mean,
I don't know.
what do you like specifics? Like, I'm not.
If I killed somebody,
Okay.
I ain't telling nobody. You know what I mean?
We're talking about, like, if you feel like...
Do you ever feel sad about your job? Or did you?
Oh, every
That's-
day. What do you mean?
that's having a
It's
job.
like
I
just
mean-
waking up and I'm
Do
like,
you ever feel
we
like...
don't show up for fun. I mean, we're there for a purpose, and yeah, it sucks sometimes, but like we know, like part of, I don't know, you have to live like in the moment, but you also have to realize that like this isn't your whole life. You know what I mean?
yeah. It took me a while to leave work at work.
Yeah.
No matter what happened there.
You leave
As
home
soon
at
as
home.
I leave it.
And leave work at work, and then
I'm two totally different people. Like me talking to you at work, everybody there thinks I'm a piece of shit.
yeah.
Straight up.
What about, like, rough patches, like, in your relationships? Like, even over the years?
Like, what do you mean?
Like talking to him?
No, like, have you, like, has it ever made you feel, like, super sad? Or, like, what do you do in those moments?
What do you, like past friendships that
like any relationship.
Any relationship.
Friendship, girlfriend, anything. And there's like a moment when you're like really dark, or has there ever been a moment where you're like really dark and you just feel really depressed and really low on yourself? And if you have, what do you do?
You turn on your song, you sing
Oh.
that out, and you cry. You enjoy your life. You rock
Right.
out.
Okay, wait,
you
are you
know what I mean?
guys, do you guys cry? Like, are you okay with crying?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, dudes cry all the time.
Oh, I know. But do you cry in private or would you cry in front of people?
Billy cried with me, like, a month ago.
Yeah.
You cry like wherever you need to, but like usually
Yeah.
it's just by yourself. Like,
All right.
you know,
Some guys don't cry.
you're driving home from
I've
work.
seen Nick cry. Yeah.
No, I've seen TJ cry, but I'm just saying like some guys don't cry.
Okay. But I know you have had like anxiety attack, like not attacks, but like panic attacks.
That one time.
No, there's been 2 times.
It's real.
It's
Dude,
real.
you're just chilling there, and all of a sudden you're like,
Yeah.
And you're
it's,
just like-
it's a real thing.
I'm just sitting here watching TV. Well, what's going on?
I think the way you approach it's different from person to person, though, where
Yeah.
it like actually affects you versus.
Everybody has different like coping skills or
Yeah.
different ways of.
Do you guys
Doing
think
it.
that there's like a stigma between having like mental issues or being depressed between guys and women? Like guys versus women?
What do you mean?
Like,
I don't think
Like-
it's a stigma. I think there's biological differences between men and women that make us think things and women think things, and it's like we handle things differently. I mean, it's
but what scientifically is different between? Like, tell
like
me.
the chemical,
I have
like
no clue about
the chemicals
scientific,
going
but
on in your brains. I'm not a.
Personally, I
No,
feel
but I
like
mean-
y'all
I mean,
live in
like-
the second there for way too long.
I mean,
1 second.
Dude, you just
You remember a week ago? I don't even remember what I.
but I mean, like, people say that guys can't express themselves or guys can't show their vulnerable side because they have to be strong and they have to be.
Dude, there's
That's
three
what
things.
that's what
Three
I
things I
mean.
live
Like,
on.
do you guys feel like that?
caffeine, apathy, and cynicism. That is like what drives me every day.
That didn't
Mine are
answer
way
my
simpler,
question.
bro. not even there.
You might want to define those words for us.
Okay. Apathy is not giving a fuck. Okay, caffeine, we all know. And then cynicism is just like basically trying to make a joke out of like everything, and then you just move on. I think that's what
Oh,
being.
so that's more of a mask.
Well, it still works. What's What's the actual definition of sin?
I don't think it means what you think it means.
I have no clue.
What
Oh,
are your
it's-
3, Billy?
it's
What do you
spelled with
live
a
on
C,
during
too.
the day?
I don't even know how to spell
Titties.
it.
Amber is so lucky.
She's keeper. I love her.
All right. I don't know. I think from like a young age, boys are generally told like to stop crying or like
Right.
stop crying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Well,
asking.
yeah.
Like, do you guys feel like that, or like, was that how you guys were brought
But like,
up?
why
or,
are
like, how
girls
do
allowed
you-
to cry but boys are
That's
not?
what. Yeah.
Boys are not allowed to have feelings and girls are.
Right.
Why
don't
is
know.
that a thing?
I don't know. I was allowed to have feelings, but like if I got hurt, okay, I broke my leg once, okay, and I told my mom it was broken, and she's like, "No, it's not." And I was like, "No, it hurts." And she's like, "You're walking, you're fine. Quit being a little girl about it." And I was like, "For real, something's wrong." It made me walk on it for like 2 months.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, "For real." I guess I don't know if that compares or not, but
It
don't know.
does,
I
but
feel
it
like-
does, because I bet if a girl, like, I bet if your sister went up and was like, my leg hurts, your mom would be like, oh, let me look at it. Like, yeah.
yeah.
But, like, why?
Yeah. It's
Why
so
is it
weird to
different?
me. Like I try and teach Wyatt like, oh, you're feeling sad, bub. I'm like, oh, sorry about that. And I give him a little bit of time and then I'm like, well, we don't act like this, or like
Right.
we're not gonna do this next time.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna like do this something stupid. You
Right.
won't fall this time. You know what I mean?
I can see why you do that, but that kind of blows my mind though. You know what I
Really?
mean? Just from like, you know what I mean? Like,
But
just
it's
like
it's nature. It's natural.
it is natural. It
I mean,
just
look at even
But it's not natural to guys.
I don't know.
look at
it's just
animals
different.
though.
Oh, for, like, guys.
Like
to-
it's different for me to do that.
No, but I mean, like, look at like I don't know how like bears raise their cubs, like
like a mama bear.
right,
And then you have a daddy bear that goes out and does all, like, the hunting or whatever. Is that what you mean?
right, yeah. It's just like nature. That's how we've been doing it for I don't know a little while. You know,
Yeah, but we still are teaching him to be an
To
adult.
have feelings.
Yeah.
you can have feelings, but I mean, I feel like you don't grow.
Times get tough get going.
Exactly. You don't
So do you
grow.
think we should be harder on women? Because women aren't treated like that. Like, women are treated to, like, be like, oh, I'm the princess. I don't have to do anything.
I don't know. I would say it'd probably be like depend on the person. If the person can handle
There needs to
tough
be
love, they can
balance.
handle tough love.
But I don't know.
It's not like I'm
Say-
teaching him
say
to be
your
like a
thoughts.
quote wussy or whatever. I'm teaching him that he does have feelings. They are valid.
Mm-hmm.
He's allowed to have those. And you can teach them, like, how to go through those.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't think, like, calling your kid, like, a sissy baby and, like, don't cry anymore.
Well,
is,
I mean,
like,
no,
good.
you can't, I don't say that.
I'm not looking at you
You
because
were-
you
you
say
were just
that.
looking at
I
me.
was just talking to you.
I have a kid.
No, I feel like, I don't know. No, you shouldn't like demean them. They're like, he's a 4-year-old, like, right? But you should also realize, like, buddy, you got a scraped knee. Like, all your limbs are still attached and you're not bleeding out. Like, it's going to happen a whole lot more than you think. You should probably just, rub some dirt in it and keep going.
Yeah, I feel like most of my coping mechanisms were from telling me to toughen up.
Right. Because, like,
You know what
nothing's
I mean? If that
gonna
makes sense. So mine are just different from your guys's.
Right. I mean,
From how I was raised.
I don't know. You have to, I don't know. I can't figure out what I'm trying to say here.
So were you raised that the guys had to be the strong ones and
Not really, but just like figure it out. You know what I mean? And let's say you're raised to express yourself as an adult, you would want to talk about it more. So in society, if nobody wants to talk to you about it, and you ain't got nobody to talk to, it would screw you up more than if you were able to talk to somebody. Versus vice versa. Somebody's trying to talk to you about your feelings. You already got it figured out in your head. Most of I pray a lot. So every time I have like a deep like problem and I don't want to talk to nobody about it, I just pray.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you ever, sorry, I interrupted, but do you ever feel like maybe that's another like underlying issue like with a lot of people or people you may know in the world today?
Like
What?
mental health.
Mental health, like the further we get away from recognizing that there's like somebody out there taking care of us, like the less.
Are you trying to make this religious or not?
I mean, we can.
I agree with that 100%.
Like the less you, because I mean, knowing that there's something out there, someone out there that is looking down at us and, making sure we're doing either the right thing or calling us out for like the wrong thing. Like the further we get away from that, like the less civil we become, if you don't
Morals.
think, if there's nobody out there, like what's the point of me being here?
Oh, yeah.
So why do you think that guys because I think you two, like you guys are talking about God and stuff now, but I know a lot of guys who don't like to talk about their religion or like who don't like to talk about vulnerable things like that. Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think it's hard for guys to open up about like their religion or like what they're feeling?
Because it is like a vulnerable, like, I mean, people feel they're
weak in that point, I guess. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
how certain things I might not want to talk about. I don't know what it is. I couldn't bring up an example, but
Yep.
I don't know, something random or whatever that I probably wouldn't tell you guys.
Yeah, I mean,
That's just their thing.
I don't know. I've never been in the military, or even like if I've had jobs with bosses that I've looked up to. But there's some things I don't need to know about my boss that if I did, I would possibly look at him differently
Yeah.
as a leader. So like, maybe things just you don't have to know to. I don't know, like the captain of the ship. You don't want to know that he just got shot and he's gonna like die in the next 10 minutes. Like, no, he's getting everybody going to where they need to go, and some things you just don't need to know until you have to know them, and then I don't know. That's a bad analogy.
Okay, I would say like a divorce or whatever, and now you
Okay.
think that he's emotionally compromised and not making a good judgment call.
Yeah, so like,
Okay.
so like if you're at work and you don't need to know your boss is going through a divorce or something like that, just because that might affect his decisions at work. And, he might tell you to do something that you don't think is right because it's like, well, he's just saying that because he's going through something right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, guys keep that bottled up, which I don't think in situations like that, that's probably not a bad thing.
Yep.
No,
I mean, that protects more people than it does.
not at all. Yeah, I agree.
And that's probably not like that's not really appropriate for him to.
For work.
For sure. And there's things that, like that's why they say, keep home at home and work at work, because like there's sometimes stuff we do at work that if your mind's in a different place, you're going to end up killing somebody.
But you should feel like you
wanted
should
to.
have someone.
I've wanted to kill somebody.
Do you guys feel like you have good group of guy friends that you can like openly share about stuff if you have a problem, because we like, even to get people to talk about this, and we're not even talking about like hard stuff, it was hard to find a guy that would come out and just talk about how they feel.
Oh, it's tough. I mean, I don't.
But for
you know,
girls,
I don't
it's
know
so
you,
easy.
you know
Like,
what
we
I
could
mean?
ask
I mean,
everyone.
I know you. I know your
Yeah.
name. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
know you. You know what I mean? You, I grew up with. And I just did it, you know, because you asked me to. I don't really care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with your friends, it's so much easier. So him, if he had something he needed to talk to you about, you know, just hit me up. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, and I know Billy's out there. I've got Zach's out there. Jeremiah's out there.
Do you think it's hard for guys to like take that like leap and like initiate asking for help, or like initiate?
Oh yeah, it's embarrassing. I mean, not
Why
really
do you-
embarrassing.
yeah.
It sucks
Yeah.
because you.
That's
It's
a
like
good point.
it's like a pride
you
thing.
don't want to talk about it. It's a private thing. So like, let's just say 50, 80, 90, 100% of the time you're happy. You know what I mean? That 10% that sucks, whatever that percentage is that sucks. When you're with somebody and you feel like you can talk about it, if you're having a great time, like let's say we're having a great time. It's hard to bring up that hard time when right now we're having a good time.
Right.
So let's just have a good time while we're having a good time. That's how I feel 99% of the time.
Yeah. If I was just like,
Unless it's a really bad problem.
Right.
But
yeah, if we were bowling like a couple weekends ago, and I was like, "Yo, Billy, like, you know, this is really bad," and whatever, that'd be like that'd bring down the whole vibe of the dudes outing. So.
Yeah. Have you ever felt like you couldn't talk to your partner, so you had to go to your guy friend?
All the time.
Something?
Yeah.
All the time?
oh yeah.
Why?
I am horrible at talking to my wife. It is the worst thing ever. Like,
And she'll tell you.
and she will tell you. I don't know.
Do you think that you have to like put up like a persona that you're like stronger than what you are to her?
Not really. I don't know. Maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Do you feel like she's going to judge you?
No. I've cried in front of my wife.
Well, I know, but like, can you give me
Do
any
you
kind of
think
context?
it could be like for your confidence or whatever, like you want to be a strong man for her, so you don't
Oh,
want her
yeah.
to see your weak side, right? That's
No.
probably like what it is.
No.
I feel like
mean,
one thing I just thought about, but
I don't know.
you don't ever want something you've kept secret, or something you're confiding into somebody. You know, friendships don't last forever, and you can't trust people. Like I can trust you, or well, I guess I can trust you as long as I can trust you, if that makes any sense. But sometimes you fear that, you know, whatever I tell you or whatever I open up about, you know, we're not going to be friends. You know,
Like
what
something
if
would happen.
what if we're not friends, or what if you try to use that against me one day? Not saying you would or anyone would, but like
But some people do.
some people do, and I've seen it done, and you know, maybe it's for the better just to keep it to myself.
Yeah.
And just I don't know. Just don't tell anyone.
Yeah, I think that's where the problems in relationships happen. Not so much my mental health, but my relationship status.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate, Billy?
Does that make any sense?
No.
I'm finally starting to catch butts and feel dangerous. So like, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Let me think of an example. I went to a titty club like a month ago.
Oh
Well, you were there.
Yeah.
Wife was angry because I shut off my phone. We didn't talk about it for forever. And she's like, I'm pissed that you shut your phone off. And I was like, cool. Sorry, I shut my phone off. Whatever.
Won't do it
This, that, and
again.
the other. But she was just so upset about it and didn't elaborate as much as she wanted to. And I thought the conversation was over. Don't
Yeah.
shut my phone off. You know what I mean? But it was in her head. And for me, I would do the same thing.
You would do. Well, what do you mean you would do the same thing? Like you would do the
I
same
would probably
thing that Amber
hit
did?
a main topic that I was feeling and be done with the conversation. And you would have no idea what I truly deep down felt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like in women's minds, we like once we have those hard conversations, we replay those over the
Way
next
too
few
much.
days.
Oh, it's months. Years.
Even TJ, like, we'll argue about something, and he's like, we're just going in circles. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but I want you to hear me. Like, are you hearing me? Like, do you know what I'm saying? And he's like, yeah, no, we can stop. But it doesn't end.
Yeah. And like Billy said, we can remember shit from like 20 years ago.
Sometimes the memory's a little bit twisted. I think you guys replay it so much, and you're like, well, what if he did this? And then it becomes part of the story. And you're like,
I had a dream he
Yeah.
did this, and he definitely, it's like,
I know. Have you ever like woke up from a dream and
And
like
you
they
cheated on me in my dream. Yeah.
yeah,
I
have
did
you ever
that one.
woke up from dodging fists?
He's like, why are you mad at me? I was like, you cheated on me in my dream. He was like, that's stupid. I was like, yeah, but I woke up and I was pissed, so now I'm mad.
All right, guys. Who was your biggest mentor and role model growing up?
there's probably a group of people, I'm sure. Obviously, my dad plays a huge part in how I turned out and how I view life. Some people call it things.
Is he like your role model though?
Yeah. I mean, it's just there's not just one person though. Like there's different parts of your life. It's like a toolbox, you know. There's things you need for certain situations, and there's certain people in your life that you look up to. Like I know, you know, if I'm, you know, struggling with like building something or fixing something, obviously my dad is the first one I call. If I'm struggling with like getting along with somebody at work or like whatever it is, you know, maybe it might be, you know, Brent, my old manager at Discount Tire. You know, or if it's...
So like they all have like characteristics that you want to like put in yourself.
Yeah,
or
people
Yeah,
I
I
look
can
up.
see that, yeah.
People I look
Yeah.
up to. I mean, they
Yeah.
have different traits,
Right.
and I'm not saying they're perfect people. I'm not a perfect person, but like I know there's things that stand out in other people. Like, you know, the history teacher in my junior high. Like he's, I mean, obviously not the most perfect individual in the world, but he's taught me, you know, like have balance and things you learn and do, and have, you know, like he's probably the one that's got me into like learning about history and stuff like that. And, you know, I respect him for that. And there's other things you can't really respect him for. But like I said, you can't just look up to one person, because if you do that, that person's always going to let you down because they're human.
Right.
And then you can't, like, I don't know.
I like that.
You find the good in people.
You said, yeah, I like that. You did do good on that. We're going to do the second bottle, by the way.
Yeah, find the good in people and then forget about the rest and just use what you can and just keep moving on.
Alrighty. What about you, Billy? Who was your biggest role model?
I
growing
agree
up?
with everything you said. Mainly my dad, though.
Yeah. 100%. Okay. When you think about, let's say, your biggest role models, so obviously your guys' dads, how do you think their mental health is?
Depends on the day.
I don't know. I mean, it's not something we've ever like
Talked
really
about.
talked about.
Okay, so like, yeah, go ahead. I'll let you say something.
I don't know. I know my dad has been through a lot, and he's seen some things, and he's had some, you know, from what I've pieced together, just not the best growing up. But again, what I've seen, you know, what I know he's been through, and how I see him today, like I know what kind of person it takes to.
Keep going.
Go ahead.
What's that?
I'm listening. I just
Okay.
wanted that bottle and the other one.
Yeah, so like I said, like knowing what he's been through and stuff he's grown up with, like it takes a certain kind of person to turn out okay from all of that. So, I mean, leading by example is a huge thing. It's like, okay, my dad's done this, this, and this. Like, I don't know. I don't think it needs to be explicitly talked about, because if you look up to somebody and they're leading by example, you know, words can't describe like actions sometimes.
Yeah.
You just know like that's a strong man right there. And, you know, I want to you don't want to be like everyone, you know, but you want to have the strengths in this area. Like I look up to that. And
Yeah,
like, I want that.
Yeah, I get that. Me and my dad have never had emotional conversation ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Me and my dad hugged when my grandma died and grandpa died, and
yeah.
he was crying, I was crying. We hugged each other, and fuck a little tap on the back. You know what I mean? That was it. You
Yep,
know what I
I
mean?
know.
And I mean, but besides that,
I think that's about the only time that I've ever hugged your dad. That's when your uncle died.
But see, and then people think like it's like, oh, you don't hug anyone or you don't like whatever. It's like that's not me. Like that's not how I express my emotions.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain people that I'll hug and cry and whatever we do, but like don't get upset with me because I don't express my emotions the same way you do or you expect me to or you think I should. Like that's just me.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't. Yeah.
All right, guys. Getting through these tough conversations here.
they're really not that bad. I was
Yeah.
thinking it was
No,
gonna
I
be
thought
way
it was
worse.
gonna be like.
Way
I'm
worse
not,
than
you
this.
guys aren't giving us a whole lot.
Oh, is that what it is?
Is that, yeah, I feel like I'm doing great.
I'm just saying, no, I'm saying like if we ask like about your depression or something, you guys are like,
Kiss
oh,
my ass.
I'm not- I don't have
What
depression.
depression?
Yeah, you guys are like, I don't have depression, but like in a
No,
moment,
really, I feel like I'm doing
which
okay
is
on depression.
fine. I mean, it's good that you guys don't have depression, but I'm saying like
But
in a
there's
moment when you
times-
have
There's definitely times.
right, and what do you guys do in those times? Like
Oh,
do
You
I
can't
pray.
dwell on it.
you pray?
I pray and I do not dwell on it. If I keep
That's
on
it? That's
thinking
all you
about
got?
it, this, that, and the other, yeah, hell yeah. What do you mean? That's that shit.
Is that like
That's-
is that like a guy thing though, or is that just a you personally?
What am I supposed
thing?
to do? Drag it like open up a group message and be like, okay, Billy, Christian, Zach,
No.
Jeremiah, like yo boys, I'm going through some tough times
That's
right
not
now.
what we're saying, like, at all.
This is the whole point of this topic too, because you guys aren't like.
I'm on the same page as him. I don't
Yeah,
know
and
what do you mean?
that's why
What-
we're doing this, because you guys think of mental health and stuff differently than women do.
Right. So
Right,
we're just
but-
trying to figure it out and
Yeah.
see what your
Okay.
thing is.
Yeah.
We're not attacking you.
Let's
feel like
start
I'm
over.
being
I'm not.
attacked.
I'm feeling dangerous. So like, just ask me what the fuck you want.
Okay. Okay. P.S. Billy opened our second bottle, which is also a Prayers of Sinners wine.
That was cool. How I picked that out. What's up? You know what I mean? That worked out pretty sweet.
It is the Chardonnay, so bright aromas of slightly toasted pears with underlying
pears.
citrus notes led to a heavenly mix of fresh pear and ripe melon flavors. I really like the first one. That was
Should I
pretty good.
rinse my glass?
I think we should probably go ahead and rate the first one though before we get started on that one.
Okay, I give it a 5 out of 10. I think it was good. It was a little more on the drier side than I like, but it was good.
I would say 6. What about you, Billy? Before you start drinking,
It was
that
dry.
one?
The more I drank it, the drier it got.
Yeah.
It was.
I
It
agree.
really, it really
I
did.
agree.
Like I can feel my tongue.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
that makes sense.
I like dry wines.
Yeah, I do. I'm starting to like dry wines.
Yeah, me too.
My wife loves them.
I get a 5. I like.
Yeah, she
like,
does
I'd
like them.
rather drink like Chardonnay or Pinot Grigio.
It's more like buttery. Okay. Billy, what would you rate the wine? The first one.
I'll rate it as if there's nothing else, I will drink it.
All right.
But that's
so
about it.
like a
That's like a 2,
2?
No, higher than that. I mean,
Like a 5.
like a 4,
above Busch Light,
above Busch.
below Bud Light.
So like a 3.
Was he like Busch Light better than Bud Light?
So you say like a 4?
Like, yeah, 4 is good.
Okay. What about you,
good.
Nick?
I don't know. Again, it's drinkable, and it's probably it's hard to rate because I'll drink pretty much anything when I'm around people. If that makes
Yeah.
any sense.
I mean,
Ooh, your
social
peer pressure?
drinking. No, he's a social drinker.
No, it's just like it's something like I'm distracted. I'll eat or drink anything if I'm distracted. So I mean,
Compared to other wines that you've had.
it wasn't as sweet as I generally. Maybe not sweet. Maybe that's not what I'm looking for. Maybe I'm looking for like more of a fruity, like
Yeah.
on the spectrum. Like it's more.
What's your rating?
I don't know, 4, 5.
It's like,
I felt the
well,
same way. you
It's
did.
not a 10. I like the 19 Crimes is probably my favorite one ever.
Yeah.
But I'm probably partial just because Snoop Dogg's on the bottle.
Alrighty, guys. Are you ready?
We're ready.
Who is the person that you feel the most comfortable talking to?
Guy or girl?
Guy or girl? Anyone?
My mom.
Yeah?
100%. I've told her some shit in the day.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I could say it just depends on what it is.
you feel the most comfortable talking to?
Like Billy said, it's probably, I don't know. I'd say it's my mom, but like there's other things. It just depends on what I'm talking about.
You know what really surprises me? That neither of you guys said your wife.
I like that bring up, but negative.
Yeah.
Fuck that. If I have fucked the fuck up, I need advice before I go to the fucking principal. You know?
Right.
100%. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, look, I don't know
like
what to
that.
do. I need this, I need that, and I need that. What do you think?
But sometimes it's not a big deal. But then we think it's a big deal, and it's just like,
I do.
Hey, Mom, like, what do you think about this? She's like, oh, just tell him. It's like, all right, I'll just tell him. You know. But I don't think I've ever run into a situation lately, or
Lately.
like, I don't know. I feel like with Katie, like I can just, you know, if anything's wrong that like involves her, I could talk to her about it, or like it's not even a talk because like I just know like if I do something that's gonna, you know, be a fuck up, like she's gonna beat my ass, so I'm just not gonna do it, and we won't even have to have the conversation.
So, what about more in the lines of like you're having a really shitty day and you're feeling like really down on yourself and you're just in a shitty ass mood? Not that
Dude,
you
just
did
today.
anything bad.
Dude, just
I
today.
swear to God.
Look,
but like,
Look.
not because you did something bad, but like you're
No.
but like you just want to talk about your feelings.
Negative.
I
Not
said
at all.
I said hi. Look,
Why?
I
No,
said,
we went from here to there.
I said it's gloomy outside. Yeah, and she said it's not that bad, and I said meh, and I felt meh today. All right, and I told her that.
Okay, but you.
I would
That
thought he was
doesn't
literally
say that.
talking about the weather.
I
That
would've
text does
voted-
not
yeah.
say that you're having a bad day.
That doesn't
Okay,
say that.
I did the
Not
same
at
thing.
all.
But how
Where's
do you
my phone
know?
at?
You didn't elaborate. If you would have
Are
elaborated.
you my wife?
But I'm saying, but she didn't know.
Sometimes
We're
things.
editing
we're
this shit
saying-
out. This
But
shit
she
ain't going
knows.
on
This is
the
what
podcast,
we're
but I'll
saying.
tell you guys.
Listen, this is
She
what we're saying.
knows.
If you're having a shitty day and you're in a bad mood, do you talk to your wife about it?
For
You
sure.
go home and you're saying, I'm
Okay.
in a really bad
Nope.
mood. I've had a
Rewind.
shitty day.
Tell them how I made you feel better. On the message.
I was getting there, but Maddie's like.
Well, you're good. You're just
Maddie's
like,
not even my
I
wife.
get what
like
you're saying,
dick-
but I
no,
get what he's
listen,
saying too,
'cause
because
you're
I
like-
lived today, literally.
you're like digging in on Katie, but that text said nothing about how you felt.
I
It
was
just
not
said,
digging
meh.
on Katie. How was that a dig on Katie?
I'm just saying.
I was just saying I
Because
was
you're like,
feeling.
she didn't understand what I was saying.
She understands what I say.
Okay.
When I say
I did.
meh,
Meh.
meh, it's MEH. Like it's just how I
Like
feel
Amanda
sometimes.
Bynes
I
in
know what
her
you know.
show.
Yeah, it's just like
Okay.
she said, perk up, Buttercup. You're handsome and funny and confident and a great cook and smarter probably than any other person I know. See, that kind of made me feel good.
Boom, better day.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I got sad again because I realized we didn't have mayonnaise or tomatoes.
And then I was like, do you want me to have Maddie bring them? And then I texted her.
Shh, I'm so
And
sorry.
he was like, no, don't tell her. And I was like, "Jeez, can you just please bring them?
And then Maddie brought tomatoes and mayonnaise.
But
And
I would have never done that if you wouldn't have told me.
see, and I was speaking up about how I was feeling. I was sad because I didn't have tomatoes or mayonnaise.
What's your
Right,
story,
Billy?
Billy?
Yeah.
I'm over it.
He's like, I read it and I just
Yeah.
decided it was a bad idea.
Yeah, no, pretty much. I said like, okay, so I said earlier like how I felt like shit or whatever. I was like, I'm in my truck. I feel like puking, whatever. I was like, my body hurts and I'm worn out. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, babe. It's kind of how I felt yesterday. And then I felt better. I was like, I feel better now.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had
She,
sympathy
she had
for you.
empathy. Not
It
sympathy.
was way
empathy.
deeper than the actual mention was, but I said it.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's empathy.
It's said.
All right.
There's a difference between empathy and
But
sympathy.
women do that a million times over in a day, and we do it. I do it once a month.
Yeah.
To have
Better
empathy.
check
Yeah.
that
So
off.
these little I'm talking about these little hints.
Oh,
so
the
like I say like
complaining or
you
whatever?
whatever like my body hurts and I'm worn out. Okay, so I said that.
He's like, that's his chip card. He clipped it out and he's like,
There it is. So I fucking threw it out there. That was like my half-ass saying something without saying something. And then you guys fucking put it on the table just like I just set this down and you guys didn't even notice. And I didn't notice that you just set that down. But all the time. So you guys are always trying to do that. And it is hard to talk to your significant other about hard conversations. It really is. So you really hope that person picks up on it, and you just set that down. And me and you are looking eye to eye, and I set that right there. You're not paying attention to that.
Yeah.
But we're not wired to pick it up.
I don't think we are.
No. And
I don't think they are either, because they don't pick up on it either. Every time I've ever said something that I was like, hey, I kind of want to half-ass talk about it, but not really, I'd set that there.
You're just like,
if you caught up on it and picked that up,
she did notice it.
we're talking about it. You know what I mean?
Away.
But if not, whatever.
It was just like a mention.
It was just a mention.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
That
Like
makes
with
sense.
guys, like I know with TJ, like he'll come home from work and he'll be like super tired or something. But I'm just like, oh, he's lazy, or like, oh, he needs a nap or whatever. But like, I don't like dig deeper into it. I'm not like, maybe he really is like having a bad day, or maybe, you know, like try and talk to him more, like get his feelings out.
You know how you're bringing up society and how it's kind of like not wired men, but like men are supposed to be this big, strong guys that take care of us. But society has also kind of wired us to think that about men. Yeah. Does that make sense? So we do rely on them.
Is that society or nature?
I think a little bit of both.
I don't think it's nature, because I think nature is us caring, not us ignoring it. That's society. I don't think that's nature.
Yeah. But
you know what I mean?
Going, like, I lean on Nick a lot more than he ever like leans on me. As far as mental health, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Amber?
Yeah. Livelihood wise, emotionally, maybe not. Sometimes we struggle with, because we'll always throw those hints and neither one of us pick up on it until it blows up, and then we're sitting there drunk, sitting on the couch, fucking talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just has to be had. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we used to, when we first got married, it was once a month. We would get shit-faced hammered, and whatever topic we came up with sitting on the couch, we talked about. Yeah. And honestly, it was the best part of our relationship. It was literally just once a month. Me and her would get whatever we felt like drinking, and it was always liquor. Mm-hmm. Whatever choice of liquor, we'd fucking be drinking. And I mean drinking, just like straight alcoholics drinking. Drinking. We're both doing it. And then whatever conversation she wanted to talk about, she talked about, and I would try to sit there and listen.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was meaningless. Sometimes it was actually something I felt that was actually heartfelt.
That's cool.
That would be fun.
It's been a long time since we've done that, though.
Sometimes when you start drinking, you just kind of...
Me, 100%.
You don't have like any filter. You're like, oh, this is how I'm feeling. I'm just gonna say whatever I want and do it, you know. But it comes from somewhere. Like it, you know, like it comes from you're meaning it, but you don't have the control to like stop it from coming out.
Right.
So that's kind of a good idea. I like that idea.
All of that, but like psychedelics.
Hell no, I ain't saying a word. I've been there, done that. I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna start staring at shit.
They have really cool like couples games where they have, it's almost like conversational cards, but you just like pick it up and
Morgan
you draw.
was talking.
If I was sober, I would blow it off.
Yeah, so would TJ.
See stuff like
TJ
like,
would do the same thing. I get way more
and alone,
out of TJ
and
when
alone
he
would be
drinks.
key. So like, for me personally, like let's say it was this card, and it was something very intimate that I personally felt, and it'd be different for every person. Mm-hmm. If that card was drawn, I would blow it off. Unless it was just me and her playing that game.
Yeah. Or you'd make a joke.
Or I'd make a joke about it.
Mm-hmm. See, that's how I feel when we played... What was that one game we played down here a couple weeks ago?
The do or drink game?
Yeah.
Games like that. It's like when people skip, they're like, oh, I'm going to skip this card because I don't want to. Like, that's how I feel like... that same emotion that's running through somebody that's like, I don't want to do this in front of everyone is like how we don't want to open up about our feelings.
That was super deep.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? No, I'm just saying, like, who was it that was playing and they were just like, oh, I'm going to skip this card. And they got another one and it's like, I'm going to skip this one. It's like, they don't want to be either vulnerable or embarrassed in front of everyone else. So they're just going to do something that's easy.
Or take themselves out of it.
Yeah, or just remove.
Do you think guys get embarrassed more than they like lead on or more than they tell people? Because I would say like, oh, I've never seen TJ be embarrassed, but I know that he has been.
Like truly red cheeks, I feel like I've only been embarrassed like, wow. Twice. But pride-wise, pride is, I would say, all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's more about pride than like embarrassed.
That's what I mean.
Do you feel like you avoid situations with the intent of like avoiding being embarrassed? Like, I'm not going to do that.
Or like keeping your pride like up.
No.
Or like,
I
I'm
don't
not
really care.
I'm not going to approach this conversation or this topic or this group of people.
Oh, I think meant trying things, not talking about things. Talking about things, 100%.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm not going to, whatever it is, or bring up this subject.
Yeah.
Or like if everyone's talking about this subject and you like have no clue what this subject is, I'm just like, well, I'm not going to talk about it because like, you know, I'll just avoid the embarrassment or whatever it is. Like I don't know shit about this subject, so I'm not even gonna approach the conversation. I know, right? This is pretty good.
Alrighty, guys. What do you guys usually do when you're going through a rough patch?
Pray.
Just pray. Yeah.
Basically,
Have you always been like that? Have you always been religious?
Pretty much, yeah.
I've just never met a guy. I don't think I've ever met a guy who's like really openly like I pray. That's
Not all the time. So like, okay, so here's the problem I personally have with me and God. So the times that when me and him are really close are the times that I'm. Oh no, that's the full bottle. I was looking at that bottle. Can we fill it up?
let me open it first, bud.
You're doing good. Is when I'm actually struggling. And when I'm doing good, I feel like me and him distance apart. But
Which is not what is supposed to.
it's not. It's really not. But I feel like, personally, for me, from the people I have talked to, or know, or like I'm actually willing to able to talk to about this, 100% of us do this.
right.
Out
You,
of,
like,
you know,
reach
it's a
out
very
and
small
pray when
sample
you're
group,
struggling.
but
yeah.
is when you're really truly struggling is when you really want something to look up to.
Right.
And I struggle with it, and you know, there's 6 of us. I got like fucking 6 friends. You know what I mean? Sorry, are you allowed to cuss on this podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I'll just
Uncorked.
click
We're
that.
drinking.
Click that
You know
E
what I mean?
button.
Beep that. So small sample group, whatever, this, that, and the other. But that's when you need me as a man. I feel like if you want to call it with this whole podcast, I need that lean on without saying something to somebody else.
Right.
But there's other times that we'll just have random conversations.
Yeah.
And I might not even get nothing back.
I didn't grow up like religiously per se, and I didn't really start looking into God probably until high school, till a lot of my friends were like religious. I've never read the Bible through and through. Nick, on the other hand, he grew up in a church and like strong, like women weren't allowed to wear pants and like a lot of other things. So we both grew up differently, and then we came together. And I have gotten more interested in God and like religion, and he's kind of, I think, how he grew up kind of pushed him away from it almost.
I wouldn't necessarily say. I don't want to say it pushed me away, but I feel like there's more to religion than what like shows up on the outside or what you look like or how you act in front of people. It's like, well, maybe how you act in front of people, but
ultimately it's your like relationship with God.
I don't know. Yeah. I feel like my last experience with an actual like religion or church just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Not saying that I don't believe in God or don't think that, you know, whatever it is, like, I don't know. It's just my last experience has just been a bad one. And I don't want to say bad because so a lot of things that I've learned and a lot of things that I, you know, experiences in life or like issues that I have in life, I can go back through like, okay, like how do I deal with this situation? And then I can think of a time where somebody in that school or somebody in that church, you know, had a lesson or a sermon or something like that. It's like, okay, this is how we should approach these situations. But like, there's a lot of good, but then there was a lot of negative things. And it's just left a bad taste in my mouth since. So, I don't know.
It's hard.
Something you don't, and I feel like for us guys, I'm not sure how women are, or women, ladies, females is out of the.
We're women. You were right.
Okay, all right, I was right, but I don't know. Never mind.
Gender is a very sensitive topic these days.
It's 2021, Maddie. No, but where was I going with this?
I don't know.
You took a trip.
I did. Yeah.
You don't know how women
I was just
think
saying
about this.
we started this because I was saying I've never really met a guy who was
Oh
open
yeah.
up
When
about
we open
religion.
up, when we open up about religion, it's just something you don't like. If you don't want to talk about it, you just don't talk about it.
So why do you think it's harder? So it's really easy for girls to like chit chat and talk about things, or like we like
Or
literally
like vent.
Yeah, but for guys, you're like, if we don't want to talk about it, we're not gonna talk about it. We don't want to talk, whatever. But like, why do you think that is?
Here's a theory, and I'm not trying to be.
A theory. Nick has a lot of theories.
He does.
I think about life sometimes, and I don't want to. I don't know. If I say something like this, it's gonna come off like I'm like a chauvinistic pig, as some would call me.
You can say it. Just say it.
I've been called that once.
We all have opinions.
Chauvinistic pig. I've been called worse by worse people. I'll tell you that, because they would not have used that word.
Okay.
Way lesser words.
Okay.
All right, so tell your theory.
Chauvinistic.
I mean, I feel like we have. I don't want to say more to talk about, but like we can figure out. Like if I'm having a bad day, or whatever, just be like, hey, what have you been doing with your gun collection? Or, hey, how's that truck running? Or whatever it is.
So you almost feel like you have to, you talk about other things to get through the thing that you're going through.
Do you think it's not a priority to talk about your like mental or like what you're feeling?
Or your emotions.
Yeah.
No, because in the moment, there's more important things that need to be.
Right, so it's not a priority. Like your mental health is not a priority.
No, because I've got to get to work so I can.
But for women, it's a priority.
Yeah.
I wake up
100%.
every day, and if my mental health is not on track to how I want to feel or how I want to be that day, it throws every single thing in my life off. Right?
I mean,
Is that not the same?
That's not how
What
you
about
guys...
Amber? How does that go?
You'd have to ask her.
yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
I mean, I get hints, like, that little ordeal right there, and if I don't pick up on it, and now I'm in trouble, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, well, damn. You know what I mean?
But you feel like you don't feel like going to work, right? Well, you can't just not go to work, right?
Yeah.
You got to go to work so you can make a paycheck on Friday so you can, pay the light bill. So when you're sad and depressed about having to go to work or, talking to so-and-so at work because he cussed you out yesterday.
I'm the one who does the cussing.
All right. Well, but you don't have a choice. You're just like, well, I can either, open up about my feelings and say, oh,
Nah.
But see, this is why this conversation needs to happen, because men think like that and women do not think like that.
Yeah.
Women will open about their feelings. Women, like, if I'm at work and I'm having a bad day, like, I'll talk to my boss about it, or like she'll be like, hey, like, what can I do to help you? Like, what's going on? Because we're all women.
If I can't personally change the situation, I'm not going to get bent out of shape over it.
But you can.
At work, I scream.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
kinda like my
I'll yell at
position,
some
you know?
I'll yell at some truck drivers here
But
and
if
there.
you absolutely hate your job, you would just go look for another job.
But I don't
correct?
hate my job. I wouldn't say I hate my job.
Okay, but
Like,
let's
if
say
you're in a
you're
depressed
miserable.
state and you're miserable and you wake up every day and you hate your life,
Hashtag discount tire.
do you just push it?
Oh my
But like
God.
when if you wake up every day and you're miserable and you hate your life and you feel like you have no purpose, as
I have,
men,
yeah.
do you just push it under the rug and you keep going, or
You
do you
have
deal
to-
with it? And
100%. I did.
Do you want to know how
I
you,
did. That's probably not
Do you want to
maybe
know
the
how you
right
deal
way to
that
do it.
exact phrase you just said? You want to know how you deal with that? You find purpose.
Is it easy for guys to do that, or do you guys think?
No, I had to listen to motivational speeches.
Right.
So, like, I went from bottom of the barrel, and then I've tried to build myself into something. You know what I mean? That something might be nothing to somebody or something to somebody, but me as a person, I've tried to make myself into that person. And when I first started off, I was treated like dog shit. I was literally told to go home and kill myself because I suck so bad at my job. And I just pushed through it. When I woke up in the morning, I had I don't know if I've really personally experienced anxiety, but when I was going through it, I would call it that. You know what I mean? Because I just kept on pushing. I was like, no, you're gonna fucking get this. You're gonna be a badass. Now I'm the lead guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all, I listen to motivational speeches, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta want it.
Hey guys, producer Nick. Thanks for watching this video. This is part 1 of a 2-part series of Uncorked. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Part 2 will be available on YouTube next week and wherever you listen to podcasts.